Why'd you get two guitars back to back? That's kind of frivolous, don't you think? Yeah, it is a little frivolous. It boils down to this. Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Alright, we got some stuff to do today. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I don't want to keep talking about this, but it is kind of important for this week, and if you've been watching over the past week, you know that this is something that I've been doing. Not drinking alcohol. You know, I'm gonna keep it brief, but it's probably gonna find its way into a lot of things that I talk about. Because, you know, it affects things. Man, my practice has been so much better. So much better. The hours I can practice are so much longer, and a lot of the practice time that I've lost, which is mainly practicing at night, I am just able to do. Like, I can practice like starting at midnight and just go till 1:30 or something like that, and then I just go right to bed and I feel fine up until I get sleepy, and then I just go right to bed. Used to not be able to do that, so that's really great. And I'm only talking about this so soon because on that video where I said that alcohol isn't cool anymore, it's gotten like 13,000 views, which is kind of typical. But what's not typical, there's like 700 comments or something like that, which is insane for that many views. And it's just you guys talking about your experience, which is cool, because it seemed like that video affected a lot of people. Yeah, 14,000 views, 696 comments, a lot of testimonials in there. Yeah, and I gotta say, it's only been 6 days or so, but my life is very different from what it was 2 weeks ago. When it comes to just health, even decisions about just the food that I eat right now, like, it is so easy to keep your diet super strict when you're not intoxicated, because you just don't mess up the same way that you mess up when you're drunk. And same thing with remembering to practice. Same thing with everything. Like going on dates with my girl, I'm just focused on having fun in the date and not just where am I gonna get a drink. So it's good stuff. It's been a week, probably gonna make it 2 weeks coming up here. Cause you know, I said I would. I'll do a 1 month update or something for that. But this video isn't about that. This is about practicing. So I'm going to answer some comment questions, then we're going to jump into it. I put a lot of work into Lobe de Trennen, the Schubert that I'm working on. Hey guys, I'm learning a new piece that's not the Soar Mozart variations. I know, right? Also, I get a lot of comments about this. You keep working on the same music over and over. What's the deal with that? Competitive guitarists, they don't take pieces to competitions generally until they've been working on it for several years. And if you're a jazz snob, which I'm sure a lot of you are too, because, you know, we're all academics here, you play all the same tunes over and over again, okay? No one gets upset at you for playing blue bossa for 60 years straight. Like, it's just part of the repertoire. I'm sorry that I'm not a freaking rock and roll noodle guitarist. Oh yeah, I noodle all the time and everything I play is different, right? You have to have a set of repertoire that you get really good at and perfect over time. So saying you need to learn a new piece, bro, it's like, yes, I'm learning new music on top of it. As you learn these pieces, you kind of just keep them forever. You maybe don't keep them performance ready 100% of the time. You still let them develop. That's how you get a really good Soar Mozart variations. You don't just learn the notes in a few months and now you're playing it like the best of them. You learn it over 15, 20, 40, 60, 100 years, and that's how you play it. So, I am learning new music, Lobe de Trennen, and also, I kind of started doing this new thing because I have my mornings back now too. Like, I wake up early every morning and I work out. I'm actually able to work out. I'm able to like take time in the morning and feel good. I've been doing sight reading practice, and I've been sight reading through BWV 997, starting with the Prelude. And I'm talking about sight reading, like, I just want to be able to play it, not memorize, but play it and work out fingerings to where I can just read it from the sheet and play it convincingly at a slow tempo. I don't think I'm going to work on that now, but that's been good. Just most mornings, just start with 30 minutes of Bach. Just a new suite that I'm not as familiar with. Of course, the Fugue to 997 is on the back burner, or the Bach burner, as I like to call it. I think I'm just going to get through the Prelude first, though, because I've been enjoying that. The main focus for today is going to be Lobe de Trennen, because I told Brandon that I would have that ready for him by our next lesson. Our next lesson, it's Saturday right now. Our next lesson's on Monday. I have basically the whole thing, and I'm going to play everything that I have for you. And keep in mind that I have a whole day to perfect everything that I play before the lesson, so we can really jump into the nitty-gritty and not just have me stumble through music like a fool. That's what you don't want to do. Don't show up to your lessons unprepared. Show up to your lessons able to play the notes well. You know, if you can, that's a really good place to start. Because a guitar lesson is not supervised practice, where we repeat the notes over and over just to get your fingers used to it. A guitar lesson is where we develop the music. Of course, you learn technique in guitar lessons, but the point is not to practice your technique in guitar lessons. It is to work on the interpretation and to learn things about the music that you wouldn't be able to come to on your own. You can learn to play the notes on your own. Yeah, just some advice for all of you out there taking guitar lessons. By the way, I'm a guitar teacher. I'm fully booked, but if you want to email me, email in the description, of course. Alright, let's jump into some comment questions, shall we? This one is from YouTube, spelled with a U, Tube, 9000. If I have a long drive, I will visualize chord shapes with the degrees and spelling of each note. When I have a long drive, I pay attention to the freaking road. No, I'm just kidding. I know what you mean. Also, that wasn't a question. It was just the last comment that was left. So, YouTube, how's it going? Friend of the channel. Oh, this is a good question. So, this was on my Girlfriend Can Hear Colors video. I changed the title because the views were kind of low, and I thought maybe not everyone knows what synesthesia is. But, Tassia Chiavo, probably not friend of the channel, said, has she tried to break your guitar on your head after listening to you play ad nauseum the intro of the Soar variations? If not, she may be a new girlfriend still on the honeymoon period. How long have we been dating for? It's been like 8 or 9 months now so far. I don't know how long the honeymoon period is supposed to last. And yeah, she's heard me play the intro and all the variations pretty frequently. And I'm sorry if you don't get to have this in your life, but whenever I play my guitar, her move is that she always dances to it. She really does do that. Whenever I practice, she'll always just start moving. Yeah, which there are a few things with that. First, I'm extremely grateful that she doesn't find guitar playing or just me making music in general annoying, because there are certainly people like that. She's not one of them. She's a music lover, and she loves to just like move around when she's hearing music. And even when I'm playing my stuffy classical music, she just kind of finds a way to like interpretive dance to it. And it actually is pretty informing for me, because I'll watch her dance and I'll end up playing my music in a more dance-like way. And even when it comes to phrasing and stuff, because she'll kind of like act something out for a phrase, and if I properly inform her of the phrases like with my playing, she will dance in a way that makes sense to the music. So if I'm able to do that, it actually turns out to be a kind of interesting thing. So yeah, she's never tried to break a guitar over my head. And I'm sorry if that's been your experience with your partners, that they get annoyed with your playing, but mine certainly doesn't. And I'm extremely grateful for that. Yeah, she's actually a very sweet and kind person, very fun-loving, and has made my life ultimately much better. And was honestly like a big reason why I wanted to stop drinking in the first place. Because I found that on our dates, with alcohol on my mind, and especially when I would drink, I just kind of close off and I don't really get to experience things with her. I'm kind of in my head. And over this past week, it's been so much better, like actually being able to focus on her. So, you know, again, I'm sorry that your life sucks. Mine doesn't, though. And one of my favorite things to do is to practice guitar around her, because she seems to really enjoy it, even when it's the same music over and over again. Oh, this is an easy one. This one is from 7177YT. You said regarding this timestamp in this, I think in the Tommy Emmanuel video where I played a little bit of BWV 1001 Fugue, you said, can we have a recording of you playing BWV 1000? I'm very curious about your take on it. You actually can. That's the only recording of anything that I have on this channel. If you go to my playlists and look at performances/recording, it has one item in it, and it's the painting of the cow as the image, and that is a recording of my fugue. That was before I started taking lessons with Brandon, and that's pretty much where I got it on my own. My take on it at that time, I would describe it as breathless and brash. It's not a very informed interpretation. It's a very primitive, and I don't know, I think it's interesting. Like, it really answers the question, what if a rock guitarist got a bachelor's degree in classical and then practiced for a few years after that, developed the skills to play a fugue, and then recorded it? That's probably about what that would sound like. I'm gonna re-record that fugue at some point. Maybe I'll play that for you today. Now, we'll see where Lobe de Trenin is, actually. Hold on. I have worked on the fugue quite a bit. We'll see. Whatever I feel more comfortable playing, I'm going to play. Yeah, I'm going to re-record that at some point, though, and it'll be a much more informed interpretation, and hopefully not a more sterile one. I feel like in a lot of ways that recording is a little sterile, too, because it is kind of samey all the way through. I'm really just focusing on playing the notes. I am also trying to pick out the natural high and low points in it, too, but again, it's not very informed. Still technically good, though, I think. So you can listen to that if you want. It's kind of a fun listen. So this is from friend of the channel, Thanigan 5192. How's it going, man? Said, have you done a comparison of your two most recently purchased guitars? I assume you don't mean the crappy acoustic Yamaha, but you mean my two luthier built guitars that I spent a total of like 13 grand on or something like that. Where's he get all this money? What a crazy thing to do. So, of your two most recently purchased guitars, playing the same piece or part of a piece back to back, I'd vote for that. Why'd you get two guitars back to back? That's kind of frivolous, don't you think? Yeah, it is a little frivolous. It boils down to this. I'm kind of an idiot. I didn't really research what I was buying with the first guitar, and it turned out to not be exactly what I was looking for in a guitar. That doesn't mean that it's a bad guitar, because it's actually a very good guitar still, but it's just not exactly what I was looking for, mainly in terms of volume and playability. So this guitar is my Stice guitar. I haven't played it in a little while. And I'm not going to do the sound comparison right now because it's been a while since I've changed the strings on both of my guitars. But because you said that, I'll buy 2 new packs of strings and change out the bass strings, and I'll do an actual comparison playing the same thing. You're not going to be able to hear it well because I'm just playing for a microphone right now, and all the guitars kind of sound the same volume. But this guitar is first a fan brace, which basically, the fan brace means that it's like, you know, doing that sort of thing. That's the bracing. Structurally, the fan brace isn't as sturdy as my other guitar, which is a lattice brace, which is like a crisscross. And because of that, the soundboard needs to be thicker, and it's overall heavier, and the soundboard doesn't vibrate quite as much. So it's a much quieter guitar. Now, why would you want a quiet guitar? Though the volume is lower, with a fan brace, you just have more control over the tone, and the tone is going to be generally... I want a better word than just saying it's better. Maybe like sweeter or something. Maybe warmer. Lattice brace guitars are described as like... They're louder, yeah, but it sounds like the guitar is screaming. Like, the difference is this guitar is like, it's speaking to you like this in a nice, sexy, lush voice like this. And then the lattice brace guitar, it's like louder. It's like a YouTuber louder. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is what I sound like. I'm a lattice brace guitar and I'm really freaking annoying. It's like, that's the difference. Obviously, that second voice is projecting more. Which voice would you rather listen to, though? Honestly, it depends. It depends on what material you're actually playing. So I usually practice on the Thames guitar. It's a lattice brace. It's louder. Sometimes that's nice because my AC has to be on all the time because I live in a humid place that's gross and hot. And also, it's easier to play. The soundboard is much thinner. I don't know why that makes it easier to play, but it just does. It feels more like my Cordoba, which is a very shreddy guitar. The neck's thinner. It's just faster. It's fast and loud. Less control of the tone. Like when I play that, I find there's much less of a contrast than this. I don't know, it might be hard to hear. And also, just the volume control. Like, when I put 10% into this guitar, I feel that it truly gives me 10%. And when I put, like, 80%, it truly gives me 80. But I find that with the lattice, if I put 10% into this guitar, it gives me, like, 20. And then, like, 15% also gives me 20. And, like, they're, like, a lot of the different dynamics are just kind of the same. It's harder to control dynamics. And then once you get above putting in, like, 60, 70, it's just kind of always 100. Less control of the dynamics. And that's generally what I hear about lattice brace guitars. This Michael Thames guitar is an exceptionally built lattice brace. So some of those issues aren't quite as bad on this one, and that's why I got it, because this guitar kind of blew my mind. I think is just a general concert instrument, especially for when I inevitably give a recital for my master's degree. It'll be nice to have a guitar that fills an auditorium a little bit better. So I went to a guitar shop, I found this one, I fell in love with it, and I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy it. If you can afford it, or at least justify the price of buying these expensive guitars, which I can, because guitar is my life, it's the only thing I really spend that much money on. Especially not drinking, I've been saving a lot of money doing that. I think it's cool to have both a really loud, a more modern bracing. It's nice to also have the more mellow and dynamic fan brace alongside it for when things call for that, because things do call for that. But this guitar right here is definitely my old reliable right now. It's the first guitar I go for. I do practice with my fan brace sometimes. They're both really good guitars. And I've gotten the question, do I ever plan on selling the first one that I got, this first fan brace? No, probably not, unless I find another fan brace guitar that really blows my mind. In which case, maybe I would consider selling it then. Or not. Like, there's also something kind of nice about just having a guitar collection. Especially when you have these luthier instruments. Like, each one really has its own unique voice. And I don't know if I'd want to just let go of it, just because I have another fan brace guitar. So, it depends. For the right price, I would sell it. But I have no plans on, like, pursuing that. And again, I would want a replacement with a similar kind of guitar. Yeah, maybe I'll practice today on the Stice, because I'm playing it now and it does feel really good. It's really bassy. So I'm gonna hop to it. I will see you on the other side. Okay, you know what? It hasn't been long at all, but I've been playing the Fugue, and I kind of just want to play for you, to be honest. You know, it's the practice log. I'm logging the practice I've done, you know. I'm not, like, putting in that much work right now. Full disclosure, I have an errand that I have to run. I have a stationary bike mount for my bike, and the back tire has been blown out for, like, a few weeks now. And I want to replace it before the bike shops close. So I'm going to play the Fugue for you, and then we're going to call it a day after that. Check this out. Oh, man. Ugh. I really tried to perform that fugue, and that means that I left a lot of stuff out that I would try to probably accentuate more if I was practicing. So it might be a good idea to react to that video as well, just to kind of go through and to see what stuff is and isn't coming out when I'm in that like performance mode and not in practice mode. So I'm gonna do that, so maybe expect that at some point. Yeah, big surprise, I didn't practice that much on camera today. I'm not done practicing for today, of course. I'm gonna practice more. But yeah, I want to run those errands now, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do that. And I have plenty of time tonight as well. Main focus for the rest of the day will be Lobe de Trennen. I'll definitely play that in the next practice log. But let's go ahead and end this one here. So, of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, want some guitar lessons? I'm fully booked, but send me an email, introduce yourself, all that stuff. And of course, head on down over to Ruden's Delight for some merch. Good, honest merch, as you know. Alright, I'm gonna go now. I'll see you in the next one.